look at what we have previously, that's A over H, adjacent over hypotenuse. Welcome to today's class. Today we'll be looking at SOH CAH TOA, and this is a subtopic under trigonometry. Right here we'll be taking it from the basics so that it will make it so simple for you guys to understand. Right here I have a right angle triangle. The basis of SOH CAH TOA originated from right angle triangle. And one thing I want us to know is we can have two angles from two regions. Actually, it's three angles. One is a constant, right angle triangle, which is a 90-degree part. Let's make it alpha and let's make it beta. Now let's see this, the base, the smallest part of the triangle is A. Let's say the smallest part of the triangle is A, and you have the medium size is B, and the longest side is what? C. So let's concentrate fully on alpha. So right here, I have SOH CAH TOA. So means opposites, hypotenuse. Sine, opposites, hypotenuse. And CAH means adjacent. CAH means adjacent. This opposite hypotenuse. Adjacent, hypotenuse. TOA means opposite, adjacent. So right here, if this is alpha, so for me to get my sine alpha, so sine alpha becomes opposite hypotenuse. The opposite, the truth about it is, when you are considering the opposite of a right angle triangle, looking at SOH CAH TOA, you have to consider the direction the angle is facing. If you look closely, this angle is facing B, and this can be seen as the opposite. So it means that this is opposite, this is opposite over hypotenuse. So if this is opposite over hypotenuse, it means that from the SOH, it means that your opposite is your B. Then hypotenuse, like I said previously, is the longest side. So it means that this is hypotenuse, which is C. Hypotenuse there is what? C. Remember, this is opposite because that's where alpha is facing presently. Then the smaller hypotenuse is C, and adjacent is what? The smallest side of the triangle. Our point of concentration here is alpha. Now, if we have this successfully, then it means that we can look at something else. How do we now get cos? How do we get cos? Cos is also very straightforward. Cos is cos alpha. Cos alpha is adjacent over hypotenuse, because if you look at what we have previously, that's A over H, adjacent over hypotenuse. Now, if you look at it, that's it, adjacent hypotenuse, which is AH. So from here, my adjacent from this triangle is, my adjacent, because I'm working based on alpha, is A. My hypotenuse is what? Which is the longest side of the triangle, is what? C. So I've been able to obtain a B over C from sine alpha. I've been able to obtain A over C from what? Cos alpha. The last one, which is tangent. If you look at tan alpha, now tan alpha is opposite over adjacent. Now, if this is opposite adjacent, it means that your opposite, we are still working with alpha, which is the smallest side of the, which is the other side of the angle. It is your alpha. Adjacent, your opposite rather is B. Your adjacent is what? A. So your tan alpha is B over A. So guys, we've been able to obtain sine alpha, cos alpha, tan alpha. Remember, our point of concentration is what? Alpha. Let's look at beta. Beta also, because I've seen cases whereby students always think that the angle is always at the bottom left. That is not true. You can also have another angle at the top right, which you are looking at now, and that's beta. I'm going to draw the same triangle and we'll see that. Now we are concentrating more on beta now. But in this case, beta is facing this region. Beta is facing this side of it. So that means this is the opposite. If this is the opposite, I can come here and make here B. It doesn't matter whatever letter I put. I'm just making that B because I use opposite for B. So I just want to make here opposite. Now, what is the longest side? Hypotenuse, that's C. And the small side of it to be considered is A. So in this case, what is sine alpha? Sorry, sine beta. Sine beta. Sine beta is, we are not using alpha this time. Sine beta is opposite hypotenuse, which is opposite over hypotenuse. This thing gives you opposite, and this is hypotenuse. So in this case, where the angle is facing is B. So your opposite here is B because that's where beta is facing. Then for your hypotenuse is the longest side of the triangle, which is C. Then what about cos beta? Cos beta, like I said, cos beta is adjacent over hypotenuse. We see that in the previous one we are trying to do. So your adjacent is A. Your adjacent here is A. Based on this beta angle, your hypotenuse is what? Your hypotenuse is C. If you look at this previous one, you see that the same thing we got for cos alpha is what we are getting for cos beta. How about the tangent? Tan beta. You will see that we still get the same thing just like tan alpha. Now, this is opposite over adjacent as well. Your opposite, like we saw this in, we've seen from the sine situation, your opposite is also B. Your adjacent is what? A. So that is how you determine SOH CAH TOA using a right angle triangle. Let's take very good examples. Let's take very good examples. Let's say I have a triangle like this, and in this case I'm going to be looking at my triangle here. Let's say I have my triangle like this. My triangle comes like this, and I have very simple, it's just a very simple maths. And let's say I have alpha. I can make this 3 because it's actually the smallest side of the triangle. I can make this 5. I can make here 9. Longest side of the triangle. The question is find cos alpha, sine alpha, and tan alpha. And at the end of the day, I can decide to even find alpha. But just let me concentrate on sine, cos, and tan. That's just to work more on the previous example. So from here, what's my sine alpha? My sine alpha is adjacent hypotenuse. Just the same thing we've done now in 2 cases. Adjacent over hypotenuse. I'm just going to make this A over H as SA. Sorry, my sine alpha is opposite over hypotenuse. Opposite hypotenuse. Now looking at this so closely, you see that the region where this is facing, which is the alpha, is the B, which is B as it was before, and that's 5. So this will give you 5 over your hypotenuse, longest side of the triangle, is what? 9. Let's do that math. You see that sine, which is 5 over 9, gives you what? 5 divided by 9. That's 0.555. So from here you can say sine alpha equals 0.555. It is very easy for you to get the angle, but that's not what we are doing. How can you get the angle? That would just be arc sine. You take sine to this other side, or sine inverse. So that would be alpha equals arc sine 0.555. But that's not what we are doing. We just want to get sine alpha, cos alpha, and tan alpha. What happens to cos alpha? Cos alpha equals adjacent over hypotenuse. According to that angle direction, your adjacent is 3. Hypotenuse is 9. So let's see that. So that's 3 divided by 9. And that gives 0.333. So your cos alpha equals what? 0.333. Let's leave it in 3 precisions. How about the last one, which is tan alpha? Tan alpha is opposite over adjacent. Your opposite, as usual, has always been 5. Your adjacent, according to these beings here, is what? 3. So let's do that. 5 divided by 3, that's 1.67. So tan alpha equals 1.67. So guys, thank you so much for today's class.